Hey guys, what's up? So I've been working on the car. I kind of came up with something that I think will help you guys in the long run, to make the bends a little bit easier, not waste so much material. Trying to figure out bends and cutting out stuff and trying to make it work. Played with it a little bit last night with my formula that I have, that we use for my job and stuff like that, and I applied it to this bender, and sure enough, everything fit really well. So I figured I can go over it with you guys, since you guys, just to make it easy, and try to explain it the best way I can, and hopefully make it easy for you guys. And so anyways, so this is kind of what I did yesterday. Got my door bar in, just got it mocked out to where I want it, just got it tacked in. I have made it so I have room for a little bit of, foam and stuff, foam padding. Did a different offset in the front to clear my speaker. I need some tune, so I'm not ripping that out. Yeah, that just wasn't gonna happen. But so yeah, it turned out really well. So I figured I can go over what I did, make it easy, and yeah, so let's get to it. So excuse the writing. I know it looks like I'm a doctor, but no, I'm just a fitter. Same thing, horrible writing. And so, but yeah, let me see if I can explain this the easiest way, and hopefully you guys understand it. So here was my first door bar. Here's the numbers. I have a formula. I gave it to a couple people already, but in a sense, this is the formula. Your setback, and then your advance down here. Don't worry about these guys. This was actually our radius of the bender, 5.5, 5.5 inches. So you, what I did was I found my overall measurement, 44 and a quarter, and then I figured out what I wanted for my run, which I wanted to clear that speaker. This is where that speaker was. So that was 10 inches, and I knew my offset down to the door was 4. And that's pretty simple to get. Your bars here and your bars here, get a straight line to go across, and then find your offset down to your door, and then that's your number. So mine was 4 inches. I wanted to go 4 inches from center of my bar to center, or to the edge of door. And so with that, you got your triangle now. So now you go 4 inches. I went over 3 inches to clear the door jamb, just enough to clear that. And so, so now I figured out my triangle. So I got 4 inches for my offset and a 3-inch run. And then over here was my 4-inch offset and my 10-inch run. And so you take your main measurement, your 44 and a quarter, you minus your 10 inches, you minus your 3 inches, it leaves you with 31 and a quarter. And so that's going to be your centerpiece. So now you can take your angle, and I have a Trades Pro calculator. You can download it. I think it's like $20 on the App Store. The calculators helped me out through my career significantly. So if you guys download it, it'll help you out. You can figure out your angles. So when I added that into my calculator, with the offset and the run, it gave me a 53-degree angle. And then that will also tell you your travel, which is 5 inches. And so it's going to be 5 inches from here to here, as your travel. So with that, then you come over to this formula. So once you get these numbers right here, your travel and your angle, that's the key. So once you get those, then you come over to your formula. You take your degree, divide your degree, which is going to be your 53, by 2, hit equals, then hit tangent, and then times that by the radius, which was 5.5. And then that will give you your setback. So for mine, the setback was 2 3/4. And then you do your degree, your advance, and then you times your degree, which was your 53 degrees, 53 by 0.01745, and then times that by your radius of your bender, which again, 5.5. That gave me 5 1/16 angle or advance. And so same thing with all that. You do the same thing with all your angles. And so now I'm working on the bottom bar. And so I have a little bit different angles on here. It's just, my offset's still going to be the same, but I have to go a little further out to miss the jam, and then I don't have to go as far on my run to miss the speaker, because now it's kind of clearing that a little bit. And so yeah, so with my numbers, that was actually supposed to be 44 and a half. So you got 44 and a half, then you minus your 9 and your 5, it came out to be 30 and a half. And again, found my angles, which gave me a travel of 6 3/8, my angle of 38 and a half degrees. And then with the same formula, you got a setback of 1 5/16, and then an advance of 3 11/16. And with that formula also, the one I can give you guys, it has a gain to figure out your gain in there. And then that's what your 3 3/16 is. But I will show you a way to not have to worry about doing this gain. It's very important to take off for it, but to do the formula to figure out what it is, I can show you a way to not have to worry about that and make your life easier. So we'll bring this clipboard over here. I already kind of got this bar already set up, and I'd already made my measurements and my marks. And so I started with here, and this corner, this first offset, so my travel was 6 3/8. So I went from edge to 6 3/8, and then I used my setback, which was 1 5/16 or 15/16, and then went 1 15/16, made my mark. And then my advance was 3 11/16. So I go from here and go 3 11/16, and then make my mark. That's my advance. So now technically this will be the start of your bend, and then this will be the end of your bend. So as we know, these benders, we've come to find out, well, with this bender, there's about a 5/8 difference between where the shoe hits to where we line up with the shoe and what where the bend actually starts. So when I actually bend this, I will probably start with this side in, and I will measure out 5/8 of an inch, make my mark, and then that's where I'll place it on the shoe. But my actual bend will start right here. And so after that, then my next, I have 30 and a half, go from there. So with that, now you need to learn about the gain. So when you bend this and you push it out with the bender, you're gonna gain the tube, which it's kind of hard to explain, but regardless of trying to explain it, I'm just not going to, or attempt to. I can show you what you need to do to mark it out for it though. So on here, when I did for this formula, the gain was 3 3/16. So not very big gain. If you're not too, just mark out for your gain. Don't try to, well, I can cut it out in the end or whatever. You can, but that's just bad habits. I mean, if you can get into a habit of just figuring out your gain, it just makes life a lot easier. So anyways, because it's not that difficult. So the gain is 3/16. So what it's telling you is that you want to start your measurement 3/16. You want to burn 3/16, because and then you make your new mark. That, if you got a tape measure like this, trying to find a 3/16 out of that thing, not going to be the easiest thing to do, especially if it's that small. So I mean, even the 1/4 inch is almost fully covered up. And so what you can do is that if you use your setback mark, your 1 5/16 on your advance mark on your tube, that will set your gain. So let me explain that, try to show you that now. So your setback is 1 15/16. So you burn inch and 15/16 on your tube, just like that, your gain is 3/16, or your gain's already shown. There's your gain. So it's, I mean, that's the easiest way I can show you that. Just use your setback advance, or your setback mark on your advance mark, burn your setback takeoff on your advance mark, and you will find your gain. And then you go from when you burn that, say you put that on inch and 15/16, then you mark it out for your 30 and a half, or whatever I had. Yeah, 30 and a half. There's your center mark. So then you do your, again, you go back to your setback, which on this one was inch and 3/16. So you come back inch and 3/16, and then you go advance to your 2 and 5/16 is what I had. I accidentally put a center mark there. That's not center. And then again, you want to do your when you do your next measurement, you want to put burn your setback mark on your advance. So our setback was 3 inch and 3/16. So if you go inch and 3/16, there's your gain. It's not very much. It makes it very difficult to try to get your gain. Just try to set your gain. That's why I say if you can just burn your setback measurement on your advance mark, it makes it so much easier. And then our travel was 9 7/8. So hold on, excuse me. You burn your setback inch and 3 and come over to 9 7/8. Make your mark. There's my cut. That's the end of my tube. Now I can go ahead and cut that. I also made it so it was a little bit easier to put my center, top of tube, pretty much just laid a level on top of it. Got it to center, made a mark, did the same thing down here. I found center, made a mark, and then put a level on there, or something to trace a line to connect it all the way down. So now when I put my tube in my tube notcher, I know exactly where to put my notcher, my bit, and just makes it easy. I'm easy on myself. Try not to, find level when it's on the notcher and hoping that it's right or whatnot. This just something that's easy. So I hope that made a little bit of sense. The car's going well. Like I said, everything worked on here. It's a fun little project, and this has been a fun learning experience. And so, all right, guys, we'll have fun.